Hi, everybody. This is Skip Alzheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime streaming show, where we watch old 16mm films and realize that our lives can still be positively affected by them. Today is one of those days where I downloaded a bunch of ads that I digitized for the Duke Ad Views project a long time ago, 15 years ago, maybe 13, 14 years ago. Anyways, we digitized 10,000 TV commercials that were done by the Benton and Bowles advertising firm. And one of their big clients was Procter & Gamble. And so they did a bunch of Tide. They did a bunch of Pampers. They did Charmin. And they did Scope. So today is about Scope commercials, but we're going to start off with a film from my collection because many of these commercials, these Scope commercials, and they kind of span late 60s or mid 60s, late 60s, 70s, maybe dabbling in the 80s a little bit. So they have different campaigns, but one of the campaigns that they have is an anonymous note that is left for someone from the Green Phantom. And it's basically, hey, your breath stinks, you need Scope. All you have to do is use it once in the morning. And there's other variations on that, not using the Green Phantom. But what's interesting is it's always, in a lot of cases, it's not the person that it's being sold to. It's, or in the commercial, it's a friend or family member of the person who needs it. And like, how do I bridge this subject that my friend, family member has really stinky breath. My wife and I, we refer to each other as having death breath. Being a coffee drinker, I get death breath. She likewise has death breath sometimes. So, we kind of say like, hey, baby, you got death breath. And so it's fine. We both know that it happens. So anyways, I wanted to start off with kind of a phantom ghost theme with Haunted Mouth. This film was made, I think Colgate sponsored it, but it's narrated by Cesar Romero, who was the Joker on the Batman TV show in the mid-60s. And this is great. It's really a fun film. So anyways, we'll start off with Haunted Mouth. And then we'll just watch a whole bunch of Scope commercials. And you'll see some celebrities in there, or people that became celebrities, or a lot of character actors. You'll say like, oh, they were on Gomer Pyle. Oh, they were on Andy Griffith. Oh, they were on Bob Newhart. So yeah, that's one of the great things about watching commercials from the 60s and 70s is you get to see other roles that these actors, beloved actors, show up in before they got that big break on that TV show or movie. Anyways, if you like what you saw, hit thumbs up. Go to ko-fi.com/avgeeks. You can donate some coffee. We're in Canada, so we will drink that coffee that you donate to us. Patreon.com/avgeeks is another way to donate. But just watching other things that we have on the channel, those are great ways to watch. So thanks so much. Enjoy.
I've been waiting for you. Yes, you with the teeth. But allow me to introduce myself. The name is Plaque. B. Plaque. That's B for bacterial. Actually, I already know you. Oh, yes, very well. Especially your mouth. I'd venture to say I know your mouth better than you do. I should. I live there. It's quite comfortable, really. Warm, cushiony, and it has everything I want. Your teeth and gums. Oh, didn't you know? I deal in tooth decay and gum disease. And I love my work. You can't see me, of course, because I am invisible. An invisible film, to be exact. A most satisfactory arrangement for me. I find it a decided advantage for collecting these. But come, take a closer look. Closer. Don't be afraid. They don't bite. Not when I get through with them. These belong to a lovely young girl with a craving for sweets. The gooier, the stickier, the better. The better for me, Plaque, because my invisible film is infested with hundreds of millions of bacteria that thrive on all those sticky, gooey, sweet things you eat. I spread them along the gum line at every crevice, inside and out. When they get together with the sugary remains on your teeth, they produce devastation. A decay acid that can eat right through the enamel to the very heart of your tooth. See what I mean? Now, this young fellow had an unfortunate failing. He could never remember the right way to brush his teeth. My bacteria had a ravenous time in his mouth, especially between his teeth. Like here. Of course, dental floss was too much trouble. Oh, once in a while. But every day, not a chance. But this is my prize. Perfect. Not one single cavity. Yet I got it just the same. I spread gum disease. Here and here. All around that tooth. But since the owner didn't see her dentist regularly, she didn't realize it until her gums were so weak, they couldn't hold on. It was that easy. That's the trouble. You make it too easy. All you care about is your hair, your clothes. You don't really care about your smile, about using an accepted fluoride toothpaste. You make destroying your teeth so easy, there's no excitement in it. No challenge. Look, I'll make you a sporting proposition. I'll show you how to beat me at my own game. And you won't do it. That's right. I'll show you exactly how to protect your teeth and gums from me. And I'll still win. I know you. Oh, maybe you don't think I'm in your mouth at all. Then take this disclosing tablet and see for yourself. Now, look in the mirror. See where it's turning red on your teeth? That's me, B. Plaque, in your mouth. Think you can fight that? I dare you. Look. These are your basic ammunition. Kid stuff, right? Don't be fooled. Without them every day, you haven't got a chance. Take the toothbrush, but not just any toothbrush. One with a flat brushing surface and soft bristles rounded at the end. And you'll need a fluoride toothpaste, but not just any one. A fluoride toothpaste accepted by the American Dental Association. Remember that. If you want to be sure your toothpaste not only cleans your teeth, but also makes the enamel stronger, more resistant to decay acid. Personally, I'm against it. Now, let's see you brush to remove plaque. Oh, marvelous. You'll never get rid of me that way. You have to angle the bristles against the gum line. There, where the teeth and gums come together. That's right. Now brush back and forth with short, vibrating strokes, as if you're polishing each tooth. Gently, though. Now, that's better. Clean like that outside. Now, inside. I don't know why I bother. You'll never remember anyway. Now, scrub up and down with the tip of your brush. Inside your front teeth. Up and down. Up and down. Little short vibrating strokes like before. Yes, and don't forget those chewing surfaces. We're not just there. Get all the way back. Well, not that well. Want your teeth to last forever? Okay, now finish the job. If you prefer not to spend a couple of extra minutes a day using dental floss, I shall be eternally grateful, since that's how you could get rid of what the brush missed between your teeth. Now, slide the floss between two teeth. Then up gently. Gently, I said. Just under the gum line. Then scrape the tooth away from the gum. Be sure you scrape away from the gum so you don't injure it. That's simple enough, isn't it? Keep going, scraping carefully until you've done both sides of every single tooth, top and bottom. You'll be denying me some of my best hiding places, places where I do my work undetected. If you'd brush and floss like that every day, I couldn't touch you. Because it takes me 24 hours to start trouble. But let an entire day go by without a thorough brushing and flossing, and no one can stop me. No one but a dentist. Those regular checkups ruin my plans every time. It's a dentist who can remove the plaque you miss when it's turned into hard, destructive calculus. It's a dentist who can apply special strength fluoride directly to your teeth. Now, dentist... Oh, one of these days... It's time. Time to put you to the test. To find out how much you've learned from our little meeting. Learned about me. About yourself. Tell me, how's your sweet tooth? Indulge yourself. Have some chocolate and caramel and all the sticky, gooey, sugary food you want. Why not? It's only your teeth. Lollipops, cake, donuts, jelly, jam, cookies, marshmallow. Oh, don't run away. Don't be a fool. Running away won't help. It won't help. Won't help. I told you. You can't run away from me. There's only one thing you can do. Fight me. Fight me every day. I've shown you how. Now let's see you do it. Let's see you beat me. It's so easy. So easy. But I know you. You won't do it, will you? Will you? You won't do it, will you? Will you? Will you? will you?
I'm concerned about my breath, therefore I will go use scope. The fact that when you do use a scope, it's kind of a tantalizing experience in your mouth. It gives me the feeling, since I now have clean breath, a fresh mouth, and I am now ready to meet the world without being afraid that I'm being offensive.
Scope makes your breath feel fresh enough to talk about.
I get up in the morning, wash my face, and then I use scope. When you wake up, your mouth tastes very bad. Your mouth is coated in scope, seems to just make it disappear real fast. I use scope because I don't want bad breath. I feel very confident with it because I know my mouth tastes very clean and fresh to me. Then that must mean that it must smell clean and fresh to anybody that comes that close to me.
Scope makes your breath feel fresh enough to talk about.
I don't want to offend anyone, not with, with the problem of bad breath anyway. So I find that I feel very confident using scope. It makes you feel good because your mouth feels clean and refreshing. And when you go out, you're not, the person who's with you enjoys being with you. I like to feel as though I'm nice to be near, and I think scope does this for me.
Scope makes your breath feel fresh enough to talk about.
Miss Williams, you may be my fencing instructor, but in the morning you have bad breath. What you need is scope mouthwash first thing in the morning, and your breath will really be fresh. That's it. I'll tell her about scope. I'll say, Miss Williams, you have... Good morning. Miss Williams.
Oh, I see you use scope, too. I just tried scope, and my breath feels fantastic. From now on, it's scope in the morning, every morning. On guard.
Boss, may I call you Henry? Henry, when you come in the morning, you have bad breath. What you need is scope mouthwash first thing in the morning, and your breath will really be fresh. That's it. I'll tell him about scope. I'll say, Henry, you have...
Henry?
Boss.
Good morning, Edgar. I see you use scope, too. I just tried scope, and my breath feels great. From now on, it's scope in the morning. Every morning.
Mike, you'd be the greatest lifeguard, but when you come on duty in the morning, you have bad breath. What you need is scope first thing in the morning, and your breath will really be fresh. That's it. I'll tell him about scope. I'll say, Mike, you have... Mike!
Morning. Oh, I see you use scope, too. I just tried scope. My breath really feels fresh. From now on, it's scope in the morning. Every morning.
When I use scope, I find that my breath is fresher, cleaner. I don't have to worry about embarrassing myself by having bad breath. If you work with a bunch of people and you talk to them, you're going to be blowing your breath at them. And if your breath isn't clean, you're going to embarrass yourself by talking to them with a bad breath. I know that I feel more confident when I use scope.
No matter how you say it, scope fights bad breath.
I use scope upon rising. It gives me a good, clean feeling in the morning. Then after I've gone through the day, I've been eating and this and that and the other, I come home. I have a family. I want to have a pleasant odor with them as well as with everyone else. And so, a little bit of scope after I get home, it can't hurt. It can only help.
No matter how you say it, scope fights bad breath.
I don't have bad breath as a result of using scope early in the morning. When I use scope,
later on in the day, let's say 3 hours later, my breath still smells clean. Now, it's the effect that you get later. That's why I like Scope. You know, Scope and I don't have any love affair going here. I'm just saying that when I use Scope, I don't have bad breath. It's as simple as that.
No matter how you say it, Scope fights bad breath.
Who gave this to me? Bad breath once in the morning does it. The Green Phantom. Oh, the Green Phantom. Ted, do you know anything about this?
Why, sure, that's Scope. Use it first thing in the morning and your breath will feel fresher for hours.
Yeah, I heard about that. But are you the Green Phantom?
You gotta be kidding, pale-faced. Hey, who is that masked man anyway?
Get Scope for bad breath, and you won't have to hunt for the Green Phantom.
Okay, everybody out for the start of the potato sack race.
Phil, I got a feeling this is our year.
Sure, with my speed and your breath will blast him off the course.
Darn tootin', buddy. What? Are you saying I have bad breath?
Don't fly off the handle, Wally.
Well, just a darn minute, Phil.
Now, cool down, Wally. I brought you some Scope. Mouthwash? Yeah, but Scope's a mouthwash that fights bad breath for hours. That's what you need, Wally. A good, long-lasting mouthwash. With Scope, once in the morning does it.
Well, thanks, Phil. I get the point. Right now, I think we better shut up and start hopping for a while.
Scope, once in the morning does it.
They're getting out moving. Let's go. Come on.
Did you lay this note on me, Jack?
What note?
For bad breath, once in the morning with Scope does it. The Green Phantom.
Scope's great. I used it first thing this morning. My breath still feels fresher.
Yeah, man. We're not the Green Phantom. We're the Red Devil.
Get Scope for bad breath, and you won't have to hunt for the Green Phantom.
Scope? For bad breath, once in the morning does it. The Green Phantom. This is for you. Scope? The Scope fights bad breath. I use it first thing in the morning, and my breath feels fresher for hours.
Oh, fights bad breath. Not for me. No, my breath isn't bad. You take it.
No, please.
Green Phantom say, once in the morning with Scope does it.
Please.
Thank you.
You never know who will judge you by your breath or when. So prepare yourself first thing in the morning with Scope. It starts the job right by killing germs for hours. In fact, no leading mouthwash kills germs longer. Good tasting Scope first thing in the morning gives you fresher breath when you need it. And Scope prepares you for anyone and anything.
Hey, you want to hear something? The new kid comes over to me. He says, hey, boss, try this Scope. I say, why? He says, the usual reason, bad breath. And he tells me not to worry. Scope first thing in the morning makes your breath feel fresher for hours, and something about germs.
Yeah, Scope kills germs for hours.
Imagine that kid insinuating I got bad breath. What should I do about it, Gus?
First thing you should do is keep the Scope.
How are things at the Steno pool today, son?
The little Snodgrass girl gave me this Scope.
She did?
She said it was simply marvelous the way you take it first thing in the morning and it makes your breath feel fresher for hours.
Indeed.
And she told me Scope kills germs for hours, too.
Yes, it does. But the
Mother, should I fire her for telling me I have bad breath?
Of course. But keep the Scope, honey bunch.
You never know who will judge you by your breath or when. So prepare yourself by using Scope, the mouthwash that makes your breath feel fresher for hours. One reason is that Scope starts the job right by killing germs, and Scope keeps on killing germs for hours. In fact, no leading mouthwash kills germs longer.
Have a good day.
Minty, refreshing, good-tasting Scope,
Hi, Bob.
first thing in the morning,
How you
gives
feeling?
you fresher breath when you need it.
Good morning.
And Scope prepares you to face anyone.
Oh, hello there.
And anything. Scope, once in the morning, does it.
Hi, Karen. Look what the crew gave me for my first flight.
Great. Look what they gave me.
Bottle of Scope?
Yeah. Captain Rogers said Scope once in the morning does wonders for bad breath.
That's right, it does. He's so intelligent, isn't he?
And then the co-pilot said no leading mouthwash kills germs longer than Scope. For hours, he said.
Oh, it must be true. Co-pilots know almost as much as captains.
And then the flight engineer said Scope, first thing in the morning, would keep my breath feeling fresher for hours.
Fresh is right. You know what he said?
Well, Harriet, we went all through stewardess school together. Tell me, how am I going to face the crew?
Oh, that's easy. Just stand up tall, look 'em straight in the eye, and,
keep the Scope.
Scope, once in the morning, does it.
Something bothering you, Mr. Arnold? My secretary told me I have bad breath. And she handed me a bottle of Scope. Good stuff. Use it myself. First thing in the morning, my breath feels fresher for hours. She also told me while it would be keeping my breath fresh for hours, it would be killing germs for hours. It's a killer, all right. Look, Eddie, you've been my barber for years. Level with me. Do I?
Mr. Arnold, you're my oldest customer. But keep the Scope.
Football players. What's wrong? You know that halfback I thought was so groovy? He gave you his pin. He gave me his Scope. Said it does marvelous things for bad breath. Said Scope, first thing will make my breath feel fresher for hours. He told me... How much he liked you? How many germs it kills. For hours, he said. Natalie, we've been cheering together for 3 years. Do I? You're a great cheerleader, Sue Ellen. But keep the Scope.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Well, Mary, you'll never guess what that charmer of a prince pulled today. Told me, the Queen, that I had bad breath. Then he handed me this bottle of Scope. He says he uses it first thing every morning and his breath feels fresher for hours. True, Mary's got a breath as fresh as that Snow White woman. He also says that while Scope's keeping your breath fresher for hours, it's also killing germs for hours. Well, that's fine if you've got bad breath. But, I mean, I'm royalty. I've got royal breath. Oh, Mayor, level with me, will you? Do I?
You're the queen. But keep the Scope.
Oh.
Scope, once in the morning, does it.
Good heavens, Elizabeth, what happened? I merely told Julia she had a breath problem. That's our dessert. Why didn't you let Bad Breath Anonymous tell her? They'd have gotten her started on Scope. And you know how long that lasts.
Yes, let Bad Breath Anonymous tell them. They'll send a coupon worth 10 cents off on Scope. And Scope, first thing, makes your breath feel fresher for hours. Once in the morning does it.
But at least you could have waited till the 18th hole. No, you had to tell the cat he had bad breath on the 6th hole. Honestly, why couldn't you let Bad Breath Anonymous tell him? I mean, they could have gotten him started on Scope. And you know how long that lasts. Can't you walk a little faster?
Yes, let Bad Breath Anonymous tell them. They'll send a coupon worth 10 cents off on Scope. And Scope, first thing, makes your breath feel fresher for hours. Once in the morning does it.
You know that good-tasting Scope, that fresh, minty mouthwash that tastes like a spring morning? It kills germs. In fact, no leading mouthwash kills more germs or keeps on killing germs longer than Scope. Imagine, to kill germs and taste good. Scope. What a nice way to get rid of bad breath. For hours.
The green phantoms from Scope are on their way. No, they're not leaving notes telling people about bad breath. They're giving away money.
Hi, I'm the Green Phantom.
The Green Phantom? Hold on there. I don't have bad breath. See? I use Scope.
Well, you just won $10. Anyone who shows me a bottle of Scope or a card with the word Scope mouthwash and gargle with T25 gets $10.
You've got Scope. That's worth $10. Now you can get another $10 if you've got the free Scope bonus certificate
Oh, I don't. Where do I get it?
at the Green Phantom display in your favorite store.
It's only 2 blocks away. I'll be right back. Can I borrow your car?
The green phantoms are coming with money. Look for details on this display at your favorite store.
Hey, what's your name?
Marvin?
Oh, you a bad breath germ too, Marvin?
Yeah,
Somewhere to go, huh? In a testing lab.
that's the germ life. I hear they're going to use mouthwashes on us.
Mouthwashes?
One of us may be lucky.
What do you mean?
One of us might get it with Scope.
Lucky? That stuff's powerful. No leading mouthwash kills more germs than Scope. Or keeps on killing germs longer than Scope. Oh, if Scope gets you, you're finished.
Yeah, but you go with a smile. It's cool. It tastes fresh and minty. Refreshing like a cool shower. Hey, here it comes. I got the Scope! I got the Scope!
I don't, Marvin. I don't!
What a way to go.
Scope. What a nice way to get rid of bad breath. For hours.
You know what every driving instructor needs? Courage. What he doesn't need is bad breath. So I use Scope first thing in the morning. It lasts me lesson after lesson after lesson. And believe me, that's pretty important. When you give that lesson in a front seat built for two, you can hardly get any closer. That's why I use Scope mouthwash. Because Scope once in the morning, and your breath feels fresher for hours. And one of the reasons Scope makes your breath feel fresher for hours is that no leading mouthwash kills more germs or works longer against germs than Scope. Scope. It lasts through Mrs. Giffen's parking, Judy Tucker's parking, and Cornelia Kubler's parking. Scope. Once in the morning does it.
A tailor should never be without a tape measure. But he should always be without bad breath. So I use Scope. First thing in the morning. Take a busy Tuesday. Dapper. It lasts me fitting. After fitting.
That's right. You look at me like that, but it gives you pause.
After
All I have
fitting.
to do is shorten
And I'm not just working on cuffs. I'm practically nose to nose, fitting lapels, collars, and shoulders. And when you're that close, you got to be that careful.
New jacket is this. This is where it's at.
Scope once in the morning makes your breath feel fresher for hours. And one of the reasons is that no leading mouthwash kills more germs or works longer against germs than Scope.
And look at a handsome man like you.
Scope. It lasts through the Continental, the double-breasted, and the narrow. Scope. Once in the morning does it.
Meet Roy Bostock, Scope Sneak. Each morning, Roy gets out of bed, opens the window, takes a few deep breaths, and hauls up the Scope. Why does he sneak it in? He's afraid that his mother would say Scope tastes too good, that she'd say a mouthwash should be killing germs, should be burning your mouth, not tasting good. But Roy knows that fresh and minty tasting Scope does kill germs. In fact, no leading mouthwash kills more germs or keeps on killing germs longer than Scope. That's one reason Scope, first thing in the morning, makes your breath feel fresher for hours.
Roy, here's your umbrella. Don't forget your lunch.
Oh, meet another Scope sneak. Mrs. Bostock. Scope. It puts great taste into germ killing. Meet the Harris brothers, Scope sneaks. Why do they sneak the Scope? They're afraid Mrs. Harris would say it tastes too fresh and minty to possibly kill germs. But the boys know Scope does kill germs. In fact, no leading mouthwash kills more germs than Scope. They know that's one reason Scope, first thing in the morning, makes your breath feel fresher for hours. Oh, meet another Scope sneak. Mrs. Harris. Scope. It puts great taste into germ killing. Meet the girls at Miss Hubley's finishing school. All Scope sneaks. Why do they sneak the Scope? They're afraid Miss Hubley would say it tastes too fresh and minty to possibly kill germs. But the girls know Scope does kill germs. In fact, no leading mouthwash kills more germs than Scope. They know that's one reason Scope, first thing, makes your breath feel fresher for hours. Oh, meet another Scope sneak. Miss Hubley. Scope. It puts great taste into germ killing.
Being a mouth is no easy life. Particularly if you're mouth to a guy who smokes big cigars or likes weird-tasting foods. All that can leave a very bad taste with me. Not to mention bad breath. Fortunately, this guy I'm mouth to, he uses Scope mouthwash. Scope's a real me refresher. Better than any of those other mouthwashes him and me have tried before. Oh, it's morning. And here comes the Scope. Like a good cold shower. That's what Scope is to me. Refreshing. Once in the morning, and me and his breath feel fresher for hours. Hey, look, if it weren't for this Scope, can you imagine what my job would be like? Bad breath. I'd quit. Scope, do your mouth a favor.
Scope first thing in the morning makes your breath feel fresher for hours. Once in the morning does it.
Avery, what happened to you?
I just tried to be a friend. I told her she had bad breath.
Oh, dummy, you should have let Bad Breath Anonymous tell her.
Morris, 500 pairs of pants with only one leg each. Morris, how did this happen?
All I did was tell the cutter he had bad breath.
We're ruined. Morris, why didn't you let Bad Breath Anonymous tell him? They would have got him started on Scope, and you know how long that lasts.
Yes, let Bad Breath Anonymous tell them. They'll send a coupon worth 10 cents off on Scope. And Scope, first thing, makes your breath feel fresher for hours. Once in the morning does it.
Look, Alice, another mother-in-law with bad breath. Honestly, Sally, why can't everybody start the morning with Scope?
Send those names to Bad Breath Anonymous, New York, New York.
Home, Flo.
How did it go today, Al?
Learned a thing or two from young Griswold. Marched right straight to my office and said, "Boss, you got bad breath." Funky kid. Then he slapped a bottle of Scope down on my desk and said, "Scope, first thing in the morning, my breath would feel fresher for hours." Love me, Flo. After all these years, do I?
I love you, Al. But keep the Scope.
Scope. Once in the morning does it.
I'm the guy he looks to for solutions.
I know.
So I don't hesitate. I tell him, boss, you've got bad breath.
I know.
Sure. Then I hand him my solution. Scope mouthwash. A Scope makes your breath feel fresher for hours.
I know.
What better solution for bad breath?
So I said to him, Mr. Brown, you have bad breath. Bad breath. You told him twice?
We're at this big conference, and all the top executives there. I turned to him, I said, boss, you have bad breath.
I was in a meeting with the president. I gave him the Scope first. Then I told him, first thing in the morning, and your breath will feel fresher for hours.
Sure, Scope. Lasts for hours.
Excuse me, do you have any executive positions open?
Sorry.
Junior executive?
No.
Clerk.
Listen, I can type.
We congratulate those who had the courage to tell others of their bad breath. May their next bosses have already discovered Scope. Once in the morning does it.
Watch closely. Notice the bull won't charge.
Stench International.
Yes, those villains bugged the Matador's breath.
Gave him bad breath.
His last 3 bulls simply refused to charge. Sounds like a job for Scoop.
You mean?
Precisely. You must get Scope to El Matador or there'll be a riot in the bullring.
How long does Scope last?
For hours. First thing in the morning and your breath feels fresher for hours.
Really?
Once in the morning does it.
Stench agent. Just in time.
Scope!
El Matador. A toast?
Gracias.
Help stamp out stench with Scope. Once in the morning does it.
Argyle socks from Timmy. And a polka dot tie from Laura. And a bottle of Scope from the Green Phantom. Now, which one of you is trying to tell me that I have bad breath?
Never mind who sent it. Use it. Because Scope, first thing in the morning, and your breath will feel fresher for hours.
Confess, Clarence. You're the Green Phantom.
For outstanding bravery.
Scope? Me? Bad breath? And no. Once in the morning, does it? The Green Phantom! Are you behind this? What? Oh, Scope. Steady mouthwash, sir. First thing in the morning and your breath will feel fresh for hours.
Before the Green Phantom strikes you, get Scope. Once in the morning does it.
Did you see this note? To table 14. Once in the morning does it. I'm the Green Phantom. Well, I can assure you, one and all, I do not have bad breath.
Well, don't look at me either.
Can't be for me. I'm from the broadside.
Hey, this Green Phantom, he always leaves Scope?
Why are you asking me? How should I know?
I'm sure they sat me at the wrong table. Hi. Is everybody having a good time now?
Oh, lovely wedding, darling, lovely. Once in the morning does it, the Green Phantom. But don't look at me. I don't have bad breath.
Funny how the people at table 14 didn't know they needed Scope. But the Green Phantom did. Well, they'll be happy to know that Scope, first thing in the morning, and their breath will feel fresher for hours.
A toast to a great table.
Lisa tells us she has bad breath every morning.
The head librarian? She'll fire me.
Now, you lost. Give it a Scope. Tell her we use it. First thing in the morning, her breath will feel fresher for hours.
Morning.
Scope. I tried Scope this morning, and my breath still feels fresh. James, I respect your courage. Now back to work. Everyone.
Scope. Once in the morning does it.
Loser tells her she has bad breath. Okay, go. Uh-oh. You lose. Give her the Scope. Not this babysitter. She's tough. Remember yesterday morning? You said, Mrs. Oglethorpe, you could spank me for this, but you've got bad breath. But she'll tell Mom. Go on. Tell her the Scope. First thing in the morning. Her breath will feel fresher for hours. Tell her Scope laugh. Once in the morning does it. Go on, Robbie. You lost. Mrs. Oglethorpe?
Oh, Robert, it's you, dear. Scope. I just saw a commercial for that. It said the first thing in the morning, and your breath will feel fresher for hours. I'm going to try it. Robbie, you've been very brave. Not like some people I know. Now, how about a nice piece of chocolate cake, huh?
Okay.
Scope. Once in the morning does it.
Loser tells her. Coach, you got bad breath every morning.
You'll bench me. You lost. Here.
Hey, tell him we use Scope. First thing in the morning, and his breath will feel fresher for hours.
Morning, Coach.
Scope, huh? My kid gave me some Scope this morning. My breath still feels fresh. Jim, that took guts. Something we could use a little more of around here?
Scope. Once in the morning does it.
Now, look, Loser tells her she has bad breath every morning.
But she'll never speak to me again.
Look, you lost. Give her the scope.
Tell her we use it. First thing in the morning, and her breath will feel fresher for hours.
Good morning.
Scope. Millie, I tried Scope this morning, and my breath still feels fresh. Thanks. And thank the girls.
Scope. Once in the morning, does it?
Loser tells Gert she's got bad breath every morning. Oh, no. Gert, don't blame me. You lose. Here. Tell her we use Scope. First thing in the morning, her breath will feel fresher for hours. Go ahead.
Morning. Scope? You're too late. I tried Scope this morning. My breath still feels fresh. Joe, you're okay. Like those other guys. Ooh.
Scope. Once in the morning, does it?
You're my mother-in-law, and I don't want to make you mad, but you've got to do something about your breath.
Been practicing. When she comes over mornings, gotta tell her about Scope. It's a new mouthwash. I use it once in the morning, and my breath feels fresher for hours. Today, you give her the word.
When you first wake up, there's a film in your mouth that you can taste. New Scope cuts through this film and helps reduce odors for hours.
Mother? Mother? Mother! Mother?
Only have a minute, Larry.
You have a new mouthwash.
Oh, yes, Scope. The girls told me about it. They say once in the morning and your breath feels like it'll last for hours. Can't wait to try it.
Scope. New from Procter & Gamble. First thing in the morning and your breath feels fresher for hours. Once in the morning, does it?
Odd man tells him.
Charlie.
You can me. Just tell him, boss, you got bad breath every morning. Yeah. And with this Scope first thing in the morning, your breath feels fresher for hours.
Morning.
Morning.
Boss, try that.
Charlie, I tried the Scope this morning and my breath still feels great. Charlie, you got guts.
Scope. Once in the morning, does it?
All right. This morning we do it. High card tells them, Mr. Brown, you have bad breath every morning. Draw. But he's the principal. Somebody's got to tell him about Scope. But he's the last bachelor we know. Simply say, first thing in the morning and your breath feels fresher for hours.
Courage, Helen.
It lasts.
It'll make his breath feel fresher for hours. Once in the morning, does it? Mr. Brown?
Dear. Miss Rollins, it so happens I tried Scope this morning. It works. You've shown real courage, Helen. I admire that.
Scope. First thing in the morning and your breath feels fresher for hours. Once in the morning, does it?
You could break our engagement for this. But, Freddie, you've got bad breath. Bad breath. He's my fiancé for quite a while. When he drives me to work mornings, somebody's got to tell him about Scope. I use it every morning. And my breath, it's so fresh. Ring or no ring. Today I tell him.
When you wake up in the morning, there's a film in your mouth that you can taste. Scope is so powerful, it cuts through this film and reduces mouth odor.
Evening, Pauline.
Freddie, you've got...
Hey, Scope. Pauline, you've got it, too. Just bought some myself. They say this stuff really works. Doesn't that sound great? Why, I feel good enough to get married. Almost.
Scope, the powerful new mouthwash from Procter & Gamble. Scope is the once-in-the-morning mouthwash.
Miss Blake, you may be the fashion editor, but you've got bad breath. I've got to tell her about my mouthwash. Scope. Once in the morning and my breath feels fresher for hours. Today I tell her. Miss Blake.
Oh, Mary, darling, look at this ad. It says Scope. First thing in the morning and your breath feels fresher for hours. It sounds marvelous. Run down and get me some.
Scope. Once in the morning, does it?
Miss Windsor, you're the bank's biggest depositor, but you've got bad breath. When she comes in mornings, I gotta get her to use Scope. Once in the morning and my breath feels fresher for hours. Today I tell her. Miss Windsor, you've got Scope.
Yes, green like money. They say first thing every morning, and your breath feels fresher for hours. Here it is.
Scope. Once in the morning does it.
Mrs. Updike, you could get me fired for this, but you've got bad breath. When she says good morning, wow, gotta get it to use Scope. I do. Once in the morning, and my breath feels fresher for hours. Today, I tell her.
Mrs. Updike, you've got...
Thank you, Henry.
Scope.
Yes. They say use it first thing every morning, and your breath feels fresher for hours. Marvelous.
Scope. Once in the morning does it.
Go ahead, Mrs. Simpson, change butchers, but you've got bad breath. When she comes in mornings, brother, she's got to use my mouthwash, Scope, once in the morning, and my breath feels fresher for hours. Today, she gets the word. Mrs. Simpson, you got Scope.
Yes, I'm dying to try it. They say first thing in the morning and your breath will feel fresher for hours. Max, give me something special today, huh?
Scope. Once in the morning does it.
Boss, you've got bad breath. Rehearsing. Mornings is okay, but afternoons. Gotta tell him about new Scope. Once in the morning, and I'm good even in the afternoon. Today, I'll tell him. Mr. Walters?
Jane, run out and get me some Scope. New mouthwash. I heard once in the morning and you're good even in the afternoon.
Scope. Once in the morning helps keep your breath fresh, even in the afternoon.
You're my mother-in-law, but you've got bad breath. Practicing. Mornings, she's okay, but afternoons. Gotta tell her about Scope. Once in the morning, and I'm good even in the afternoon. Today, I tell her. Mother, you have a new mouthwash.
Yes, Scope. They say once in the morning and you're good even in the afternoon.
Scope. Once in the morning helps keep your breath fresh, even in the afternoon.
You could break our engagement for this, but Freddie, you have bad breath. Bad breath. He's my fiancé for quite a while. When he drives me to work mornings, somebody's got to tell him about Scope. I use it once in the morning, and my breath feels fresher for hours. Ring or no ring, today I tell him.
When you first wake up, there's a film in your mouth that you can taste. Powerful new Scope cuts through this film and helps reduce mouth odor for hours.
Evening, Pauline.
Freddie, you've got...
Hey, Scope. Pauline, you got it too. Just bought some myself. They say use it when you get up and your breath feels great for hours. Why, I feel good enough to get married. Almost.
Scope. First thing in the morning and your breath feels fresher for hours. Once in the morning does it.
Champ, you could belt me for this, but you got bad breath. Bad breath. He's a great fighter, but when he shows up in the morning for workouts, wow. I gotta get him to use this new stuff, Scope. I do. Once in the morning, and my breath feels fresher for hours. Champ, today.
When you first wake up, there's a film in your mouth that you can taste. Powerful new Scope cuts through this film and helps reduce mouth odor for hours.
Champ, you got... Champ, you got... Now, take it easy, Champ, but you got...
I feel lucky today, Lou, baby. Just bought a new mouthwash. Scope. They say use it first thing in the morning, and your breath will feel like it'll last for hours. Oh, sorry, Lou.
Scope. First thing in the morning and your breath feels fresher for hours. Once in the morning does it.
Uncle John, you could cut me off without a penny for this, but you have bad breath. Bad breath. Rehearsing. My rich uncle, when he comes downstairs mornings, I've got to get him to use this new mouthwash Scope. I do. Once in the morning and my breath feels fresher for hours. Inheritance or not, today I tell him.
When you first wake up, there's a film in your mouth that you can taste. Powerful new Scope cuts through this film and helps reduce mouth odor for hours.
Great stuff. Uncle John, what's that? Uncle John, you have fine day, boy. Found a new mouthwash. Scope. Tried it this morning, and my breath feels like it'll last for hours. Sonny boy, I'm going to live to be 100.
Scope, new from Procter & Gamble. So powerful, first thing in the morning, and your breath feels fresher for hours. Once in the morning does it.
What is this? Scope? A mouthwash? Who's insinuating that I have bad breath? A note. Once in the morning does it. The Green Phantom?
Fred, are you this Green Phantom?
What? Oh, Scope. Great. I use it first thing in the morning, and my breath feels fresher for hours. Hope you find that green whatchamacallit.
Hey, what's this? Scope? A mouthwash? Somebody must think I have bad breath. Hey, a note. Once in the morning does it. The Green Phantom? Hey, are you the Green...
Oh, Hazel, Scope. Just bought some. I use it first thing in the morning, and my breath feels fresher for hours.
Vera, are you the Green Phantom?
What's this? Scope mouthwash? Somebody thinks I have bad breath. A note. Once in the morning does it. The Green Phantom. A wise guy, and in my orchestra. Miller, are you the funny man?
Powerful mouthwash you have there, Maestro. It tastes good, too. No, I didn't do it.
Bigelow, did you...
Maestro, that Scope. Isn't it just marvelous? I use it every day, first thing in the morning, and my breath feels fresher for hours. Surely, Maestro, you don't think...
Lavinsky, hiding behind the tuba. Okay, Lavinsky, come out. You're the Green Phantom.
Maestro, I can't be. Look, he got me, too.
Before the Green Phantom strikes you, get new Scope. Once in the morning does it.
What the? Scope. A mouthwash. Somebody's trying to tell me I've got bad breath. What's this? Once in the morning does it. The Green Phantom. Well, I'll fix that Green Phantom. All right. All hands on deck. Oh, dear. You, sir. Are you the Green Phantom?
Oh, Scope. Powerful stuff. Tastes good, too. Me? No.
You. Stand right there, mister.
Captain?
Did you put this in my flower pot?
Scope. Tremendous. I use it every day, first thing in the morning, and my breath feels fresher for hours. Me? Oh, I wouldn't.
You there. Attention. You're the Green Phantom.
Excuse me, sir. I can't be. Look, he got me, too.
Before the Green Phantom strikes you, get new Scope. Once in the morning does it.
What? Scope? A mouthwash? Somebody thinks I've got bad breath. Wait. Once in the morning does it. The Green Phantom.
What?
Are you this Green...
Oh, Scope. Hey, swinging stuff. I use it. First thing in the morning, my breath feels fresher for hours. Oh, no, not me. I love you.
Are you this Green Phantom?
What the? Scope? A mouthwash? Somebody thinks I've got bad breath. A note. Once in the morning does it. The Green Phantom. Are you the Green Phantom?
Green what? Hey, Scope. Great stuff. First thing in the morning, my breath feels fresher for hours. Thanks, Bud.
I'll find the Green Phantom yet.
You're a great actor, Mr. Buxton, but you've got bad breath. Rehearsing. I have to tell him. Me? I'm wild about this new mouthwash, Scope. Once in the morning and my breath feels fresher for hours. Today. Mr. Buxton, you have...
Yes?
You didn't have that yesterday.
Ah, new mouthwash I found. They say first thing in the morning and your breath feels fresher for hours.
Scope, once in the morning, does it.
Dames, acting like I was some kind of a nut or something. Let me show you. Step right in, Miss O'Neill.
Hi, pussycat.
Oh, brother, you ain't seen nothing yet. Watch. Miss Thomas, how are you?
I let 3 buses go by for you, Harry.
That's my problem. Started 3 weeks ago, and Mama said...
Harold, you know I mind my own business, but if you're ever going to get married, for pity's sake, Harold, will you do something about your breath?
But I already...
Now, I'm not finished. I just found this marvelous new mouthwash, Scope. They say first thing in the morning and your breath feels fresher for hours, and it tastes good. And Harold, once in the morning does it.
That's the story. Nothing but headaches. Please. Back in the bunk, please. Please. Please.
Boss, you could can me, but you've got bad breath. Practicing. The chief mechanic mornings, gotta get him to use Scope. I do. Once in the morning and my breath feels fresher for hours. Today, bingo.
Hey, boss. Hey, George, ever hear of a new mouthwash called Scope? Tried it first thing this morning and my breath feels like it's gonna last for hours. What's up?
Scope. Once in the morning does it.
You're my mother-in-law, but you have bad breath. Been practicing. When she comes over in the mornings, I gotta get her to use this new mouthwash, Scope. I do. Once in the morning and my breath feels fresher for hours. Today, I tell her. Oh, Mother, you have a new mouthwash.
Oh, yes, Scope, something new. They say first thing in the morning and your breath feels like it'll last for hours.
Scope. Once in the morning does it.
You're my mother-in-law, and I don't want to make you mad, but you've got bad breath. Bad breath. I've been practicing. When she comes over mornings, I gotta tell her about Scope. New mouthwash. I use it once in the morning, and my breath feels fresher for hours. Today, you give her the word.
When you first wake up, there's a film in your mouth that you can taste. Powerful new Scope cuts through this film and helps reduce mouth odor for hours.
Mother, Mother, you have bad breath. Mother! Mother?
Only have a minute, Larry.
You have a new mouthwash.
Oh, yes, Scope. The girls told me about it. They say once in the morning and your breath feels like it'll last for hours. Can't wait to try it.
Scope. New from Procter & Gamble. So powerful, first thing in the morning and your breath feels fresher for hours. Once in the morning does it.
Boss, you could fire me, but you have bad breath. Practicing. When he walks in mornings, gotta get him to use this new Scope. I do. Once in the morning and my breath feels fresher for hours. Today I tell him, boss,
Peters, I found a new mouthwash, Scope. Tried it first thing this morning, and my breath feels like it'll last for hours. Oh, what's up, Tiger?
Scope. Once in the morning does it.
While Steve Shea innocently sleeps, an evil thing is happening. Don't be frightened. It happens to most people. A pasty film covers your mouth. It tells you have morning breath, the worst breath of the day.
Morning, Mr. Shea. It's 6 o'clock. Good morning.
Scope helps get rid of morning breath and pasty film, leaving breath minty fresh, clean. Scope fights morning breath, the worst breath of the day.
Morning.
Morning.
Thanks, everybody, for watching today, even though we were pre-recorded. As always, you can support us by hitting the thumbs up or the like button. Those are great ways to tell the algorithms that drive our post-literate, automated society that AV Geeks deserves to live at least another day. Another way you can support us is going to ko-fi.com/avgeeks or patreon.com/avgeeks. There's a ways to buy us coffee, or what's happening more recently is we're buying shelving, we're buying things as we are moving films from our nasty basement at the archive to better conditions so that we can potentially renovate the basement and make it climate controlled and waterproof and all that stuff. That's more about that as it happens. There seems to be bigger powers at work besides us that are determining whether or not this can happen. Another way you can support us is just watching the channel, and because we get ad revenue from many of the videos. And believe it or not, we're making enough ad revenue that we're covering the storage unit costs. We have now 4 storage units. So thanks again for tuning in. We'll be back again the next business day. This is a pre-recorded message, so I don't know what day we're going to be showing this, but tune in, and we will see you soon. Everybody take care. Bye.